Snickerdoodles. Snickerdoodles are a very common treat in the United States. For those of you who have never heard of them before, it's basically a sugar cookie that's rolled in cinnamon sugar and then baked. It should be a little bit chewy on the outside, soft on the inside, and very, very balanced in spice. Let's get started. So I have my mixer here fitted with the paddle attachment. And the reason I have the paddle attachment is because we're going to use a method that is creaming method. So with creaming method, we always have our fat together with our sugar. Sometimes you have two types of sugar. This time we only have one type of sugar. So I will go ahead and get that starting to cream all the way on high speed. Our butter and sugar has finished creaming. And how can we tell? Because it's light and fluffy. Okay? The side of your bowl, if you touch it, it should not be super cold. It should be more like room temperature, because then that means the butter has also softened enough. Okay? So now that we have our butter and sugar nice and creamed, we can add our other ingredients. Okay? Oh, there you go. Okay? So we have 1 egg here, and I also added the vanilla extract. So I will add this in. Okay. And the key with creaming method is to scrape. Okay, so after this gets incorporated, I'm going to scrape it. As you can see right now, it's really not mixing in well, and that's because everything's kind of stuck on the sides. So, scrape. And make sure you scrape all the way to the bottom of your bowl. The reason is because we don't want to have one cookie that has just full of butter and sugar. Okay? I know that might sound appealing to you, but actually does not taste good. There we go. It's much better. So it looks kind of like a curdly mess right now. Let's let it keep mixing. Okay? It's starting to come together now. The mixture looks like scrambled eggs at the moment. Perfect. Okay, so can you see here that now we have a mayonnaise type of look, right? So we don't have big chunks of butter anywhere. We also want to make sure there's no sugar laying around in the mixer, okay? So I want to scrape off whatever I have on the paddle, just in case. We'll give it one more mix, and then we'll add in our sifted dry ingredients. Perfect. Okay. All right, now we have our sifted dry ingredients over here, and we're going to add this in. So we have such a small amount, I'm just going to go ahead and add it all in. And if you wanted to make more cookies, you could definitely double or even triple or more this recipe. The great thing about cookie dough is that you can make the dough, scoop it, and freeze it or refrigerate it for a long period of time. Okay, so we're on low speed here. Okay, and I will scrape once. Get this dough nice and combined. Okay. So we'll just scrape once. Get everything off the edges and the bottom. Off the rubber spatula as well. Okay. Mix this a tiny bit more, just until it's thoroughly combined, and then we will stop because we do not want to overmix. Overmixing will give us a very tough cookie. There we go. Okay. So now the mixture, it looks kind of like cake batter or yellow cake batter, if you've seen that before. And now we will roll it in cinnamon sugar. Okay? Well, we'll scoop it and roll it in cinnamon sugar. You want to take the batter off of the mixing paddle. Okay. As much of it as we can. Okay. All right. So I have my dough here, and all I want to do is try to scrape it to the edge so that it's easier for me to scoop. Okay? So see how it's all the way at the edge? Now today I wanted to make big ones. Okay, I wanted to make big Snickerdoodles. And so I take my scoop and I make sure that it's nice and flush. Okay? And then I'll go ahead and scoop that right into my cinnamon sugar, roll it around. Okay? So I guess you could call this bakery sized, because they probably sell this size at a bakery. Okay? Roll it just a little bit in your hand and put it on your sheet tray. Okay? Now this is going to spread quite a bit, so we want to put at least 2 to 3 inches between each cookie. Now, like I was mentioning about saving cookie dough, the great thing about cookie dough is that you don't have to make it all the day of. You make this dough, you can even roll it in the cinnamon sugar, and you can freeze it just like this. And once you've frozen it, it can sit there for up to 6 months, and it will be perfect. Okay? The thing is, you have to defrost it before you bake it again. Okay? All right? So I'm just going to go ahead and finish scooping these, and then you'll see them once they're finished. So now that we've already scooped and rolled them in cinnamon sugar, we have 2 choices. So what type of Snickerdoodles do you want in the end result? Do you want them to be more spread out and more crispy? Or do you want them to not spread out as much and then them be more fluffy? So if you want them to be more fluffy, then we will put them in the refrigerator for the fat to firm up. So approximately 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, after that, we will bake it in a 350-degree oven, Fahrenheit, until the edges are nice and crisp, but the middle should still be a little bit soft, and then we'll know that they're done. If you personally like them to be completely crispy throughout, then you can bake them longer. If you want them to be even softer, then you bake them less. That's why it's so personal, how you really want it in the long run. Okay? So let's put this in the oven. Alright, so let's check our Snickerdoodles, okay? Remember how I mentioned these are the bakery size, giant Snickerdoodles. So we're checking on the side, okay? And when I'm feeling on the side, it feels hard. Okay? Not hard like a rock, but crispy. Now if I feel in the middle, it's that gentle soft feeling in the middle. So I would say these are done, okay? This is what the typical Snickerdoodle texture is. I mentioned to you that if you would like it crispier, take it a little longer. If you like it softer, bake it a little less, okay? But right now, I'm gonna let these cool. We're all done.